Hi guys! Today I will be answering your questions about working in the UK after your studies. So if you're interested to find out the answers, then keep on watching. I'm Valeria from mindlegrad.com and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will be answering 15 most commonly asked questions about working in the UK after you graduate or finish your course. Many students that are coming to study to the UK are really focusing on staying in the UK after they graduate. It's because UK is such a great start for their career, it's a great international experience, or perhaps many students wish to study in the UK permanently. That's why it's a goal for many current or prospective students. That's why I do what I do. I'm a coach for international students that helps students get their first job in the UK after their graduation. Let's not have too long of an introduction and jump straight to the questions you guys have been asking me about working in the UK after you graduate. So the question number one is, are there any jobs for international students in the UK? Yes, there are, and I truly believe each international student can get a job in the UK, no matter their background, no matter what course they have studied, because there are so many entry-level junior jobs available in the UK. These jobs do not require any experience or specific training, they only require higher education. That being said, it is a lot of effort to compete with other candidates for this job. Another point is that every year a few thousand of international students get jobs in the UK after they graduate. So there is no reason why you couldn't be one of them. Second question I get is, do I need to apply for a work visa? Yes, you will need to apply for a work visa after you have graduated from university. Your student visa will expire as soon as you graduate from university or a few months later, and if you want to remain in the UK for your career, you will have to apply for a work visa. But you cannot do it independently. You can't just apply for a work visa because you wish to work in the UK. You will need to have a company sponsor you. Next question is, what are the most likely sponsored jobs in the UK for graduates? In other words, for which kind of jobs are you most likely to be sponsored if you are an international student? I have actually talked about it in my other video, you can watch it here, but most common sectors where international students are getting sponsored are engineering and healthcare, banking and finance, IT and technology, obviously consulting, tax, audit, all these sectors for professional services. And another one I can think of is energy and oil sectors. There are jobs available there as well. But it doesn't mean you have to only look for jobs in these sectors. It just happens that there are more jobs available with sponsorship in these companies or these types of fields. The next question I get asked a lot is, what is the best course for a job in the UK? And I wish I knew the answer. I wish there was a magic course in a particular university you can do that will give you a job with tier 2 sponsorship in the end of it. No, it doesn't work that way. And advising someone to study a particular course is very sensitive, because perhaps if we do this extensive research and find out that mechanical engineering is the best course to do in the UK if you wish to get sponsored. But still, are you going to do this course just because there is a high chance of getting a job? So at first decide which kind of career you want to have, and then perhaps you can choose a course that will sound more professional, that is more focused on career, that is from a good university. But it's not a simple answer where I just tell you a course and you do it and you get a job. You have to think deeper about it and think about your actual preferences in a career. I mentioned quite a few sectors where jobs are available. You can search for a course that will be relevant to one of these fields. And another question that is very similar to the one I answered previously is a question I get asked a lot in Instagram DMs, and it's all about, what is the scope for a job in the UK after a particular course? So for example, people will ask me, what is the scope for a job after MBA in the UK? What is the scope for a job after Masters in Finance? What is the scope for a job after electrical engineering Masters? And again, unfortunately, I'm not able to answer that question from the top of my head. There is so much research that goes into finding out which jobs are suitable for you particularly. What kind of languages do you speak? What is your background, except your Masters or your Bachelors? What are your preferences for a job, your location, your salary expectations? and just also finding out what you can offer to an employer comparing to other candidates. So I'm not able to tell you exactly how many jobs are available for each course, but what I can tell you is how to find out what jobs are available. You have to do your research yourself. You have to find out with university what kind of jobs people are getting after completing your course. Then you have to go online and see whether these jobs are on offer at the moment. Go to job searching websites, go to LinkedIn, go to companies' websites and see whether these jobs are advertised, what are the careers like, is it something you wish to do, and you can also email recruiters or do your research online and find out whether these jobs are tier 2 sponsored. Another reason why I can't answer this question directly is because for many jobs in the UK, the qualification does not matter that much. They actually accept candidates from multiple backgrounds. Question number 6 is, are there any updates on post-study work visa in the UK? And unfortunately, no. As of today, January, we don't have any updates, but what we know so far is that the government has promised that it will go live for anyone who will start the course in autumn 2020-2021, so in around 9 months. So let's hope that the government will release the policy very soon. At the moment, as I mentioned before many times on my Instagram, that I do not comment on your ability to get this visa, or I do not guarantee you will get this visa if you come to study to the UK, just because there is no official policy issued by the government yet, and there is always a chance that they might delay this process. So question number 7 is, can you apply for jobs that are not directly related to your course? So that is what I wanted to talk to you about. Actually, yes, you can. Let's say you studied engineering, but you realize you don't want to do engineering. You can apply for many jobs that do not require particular training in advance. Let's say consulting jobs or audit jobs, HR, banking, finance. It depends, of course, on a company, but many jobs in finance or professional services do not require you to have a particular course in your resume or CV. They accept people from all backgrounds. So don't feel like if you choose a course right now, let's say finance, that you're stuck to working in finance. No, you're not. There are lots of jobs you can consider. Obviously, this will depend on the position and company and many other factors, but there is flexibility in the UK to apply for different jobs, no matter which course you have studied. That being said, there are also jobs that are not flexible. If you want to be an engineer on site, or if you want to work as a doctor, of course, you'll have to have a particular training or qualification in place. Moving on to another question, which is, do UK and EU students get priority over international students? And this is a hard question to answer because many companies do not sponsor international students. They do not provide visas. So in that case, yes, they get priority. Because they just hire anyone from UK or EU. But if the company is multinational and they are sponsoring on monthly basis or yearly basis, they take students with sponsorship. In that case, I believe once they have opened the doors to international students, they do not discriminate. So the answer is yes, UK and EU students get priority when the company does not sponsor. But if the company does sponsor and considers international students, I believe the recruitment process is quite fair. Question number 9 is, does my university matter? And in my opinion, it does. And it's not what many want to hear, and I hope that one day it will not matter, but I think university does matter to some extent. Why is that? Recruiters and managers of the company need to filter candidates in some ways. They get so many applications. One way to see it is that if the recruiter or the manager knows the university you apply, that you're currently studying at, they know that you have already been through a rigid process to get into that university. So they know you're a candidate of certain caliber. Also, they know that studying at this university might be more prestigious. It's harder to get a certain grade. Another point to add is that there is actual research done that certain universities are more targeted by employers. Let's say they have events at your campus, they host dinners, they host talks. If you go into a particular university, then the employer will visit your career fair. If your university is not that prestigious, that does not have a record of providing good candidates to the company, they will never visit your university and you might not have a chance to meet this company. Another question I get is, do my grades matter and does my IELTS score matter for getting a job? And in my opinion, IELTS score probably doesn't matter that much because it's mainly for university, and many recruiters or companies don't really know what IELTS is about. And they will check your English whenever they have an interview with you, but your grades do matter. Obviously, perhaps getting a 2-1 or first might not give you that much of a competitive advantage, but getting a 2-2 or below 60% in your degree will raise questions. Obviously, if you're getting less than 60%, it does not define you as a professional, it does not define you as a person, but unfortunately, obviously, companies getting lots of candidates and they want to see that you can achieve at least certain level of education, and the way to see it is saying that you should have at least 2-1 in your degree or your master's, which is a merit. I would say work for at least 60% in your course. And many job descriptions say at least 2-1 or even a first in your degree. So you will not be able to apply for many jobs if you're getting a 2-2. So your grades do matter. If you're getting exceptionally good grades, if you're getting a first, it helps you stand out from other candidates. And it shows that you are hardworking. It shows that you can adapt to a new education system. It shows that you know your subject. So definitely work hard, get good grades if you can. Moving on to next question, which is, does my work experience count or matter? Yes, it does. In a way that if you can show that you have worked in any field, any job, it definitely helps to put something on your CV to show that you have some skills. If you have worked previously in a well-known company or worked in your home country in another office and taken a break to work for a few years between your master's and bachelors, that also helps, definitely helps you stand out. It helps you show that you have relevant knowledge to the sector, something to talk about at the interview. But also to mention that there are many entry-level jobs and junior jobs that do not require any work experience. So you don't have to work in an office or professional environment before. But when I help students with their CVs, if they don't have anything to talk about, there is no experience or project or placement they have done, it makes it very hard for you to impress and interest employers. One of the questions that many of my clients ask me is, why would a company choose an international student over a local or British or EU student? And that is a good question. I see why many of you are worried about that. You're just thinking, why would they even care about me? Why would they sponsor me? Why would they even consider me? I don't speak perfect English. I am from abroad. I might not have experience in Britain. I don't have anything to connect with future employers about because I'm not from this country. But I would motivate you by saying that many companies don't care where you're from. They care about what kind of person you are and what you can bring to the company. So one of the reasons why an international student will be chosen over UK student is language skills. Also, many international students actually getting qualified in subjects that local students are not getting qualified, mainly in STEM subjects, so science, technology, engineering, and math. These subjects are actually studied by international students, so there are more candidates from international background rather than local students. And don't just think about yourself as an international student, think of yourself as a candidate on the job market. If you're suitable and you have the strengths that the company needs, they will choose you no matter what other people have on offer. They don't necessarily see you as a foreigner, they just see you as a good candidate. Next question is, what kind of jobs I definitely can't do? So obviously, main answer is that the jobs that are not being sponsored. But which jobs are not being sponsored? You definitely can't work as a freelancer or as a freelance artist or photographer on Tier 2 sponsored visa. No, you can't. You have to work for a particular company. You're also not able to do government jobs such as military jobs. You basically have to find a permanent job with a company on permanent basis to be sponsored for a Tier 2 visa, and it cannot be a job done by the government because mostly government jobs are quite secretive and they're only open for nationals, as I'm sure the same for your country. Next question is on Brexit, and people are asking me what impact the Brexit will have on international students that are looking for a job in the UK. So I'm obviously not a political expert, I'm not an economic advisor, I don't know what the government will actually do and what will happen. But from my experience and my understanding and my evidence that I have seen from the market, what I can say is there are positive and negative effects so far. So negative effect is that some companies have been cautious about hiring, not just international students, just hiring overall, because they might be changing the structure of the company, they might be relocating some offices out of London, or they're not sure whether they should expand. That's why hiring could have been more cautious from some companies, but it does not mean that there are no jobs or that you will not be able to get a job. Companies are still hiring, there are still jobs available, but it might be that they are just being a little bit more cautious or not expanding the hiring numbers. From positive side, I think that Brexit might mean that EU workers will also need to have a tier 2 or similar visas, which will mean that they will compete with international students like us for a job, which will mean probably that more companies will have to sponsor visas because they will need to have workers, because there are a lot of international force from EU and outside EU in the UK, and they will have to understand the sponsoring system if they want to get labor. So for us, it's probably better in that way because companies will be more open-minded about the visas, and we can also compete with EU students. And the final question is, what is the secret of getting a job in the UK after your studies? And I wish there was one. Unfortunately, the main secret is working hard and putting a lot of effort and thinking in advance. There is no magic advice I can give to you, even if you paid me all the money in the world. Unfortunately, it's all down to your effort, your hard work, your motivation. So if you have any questions, drop me in the comments. I'll be glad to see your feedback. Don't forget to give a like to this video if you really enjoyed it. And I will be answering your questions in the comments. I'll shoot another video, and also give me more ideas for my next videos, because I am filming more and more each week, and I want to give you all the information you need. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye.